I love him. I love having his support. You know what I'm saying? His support is like very, very different from what I've had in the past, and how he speaks to me and stuff is very different. There you go. We deserve each other.
Y'all, this IG Live didn't just break the internet, it shattered reputations. What started as a quiet notification turned into a full-blown meltdown when Claressa Shields went live with tears in her eyes and a voice shaking so hard you could feel it through the screen. No filters. No PR. Just raw emotion and a bombshell nobody saw coming. Within seconds, Claressa dropped the words that froze the comments, "I'm pregnant." But that wasn't the shock. The shock was what came next. She allegedly named Papoose as the father, then stunned viewers by showing what she claimed was a DNA report, father's name clearly listed. Hearts stopped. Screens were recorded. The chat exploded into chaos. Then the tone shifted from shock to betrayal. Claressa allegedly claimed she was used for fame, for money, for intimacy, wrapped in promises of marriage that never existed. She said the relationship was built on one condition: "I'll marry you." According to her, everything changed the moment the pregnancy became real. Calls went unanswered. Messages went cold. And then came the twist that lit the match. She allegedly revealed a secret affair, whispers of Taseki surfacing mid-live, and accused Papoose of living a double life while publicly discarding her. Not privately. Publicly. Pregnant. Alone. Betrayed. Her voice cracked as she said she begged for support and was allegedly told, "That's not my problem." The comment section split in real time, some screaming exploitation, others questioning the proof, everyone glued to the screen as a tragedy unfolded live. Claressa ended with one line that echoed across the internet: "I couldn't stay silent." The live ended, but the scandal had just begun. Clips went viral. Headlines ignited. Gossip pages crowned it the year's most explosive controversy. And the question burning everywhere now is simple: who's telling the truth and who just got exposed?
I want to have 2 more fights this year. Then after that, take off a little bit of time, maybe have a kid or something, and then come back and fight some more.
New baby coming, it doesn't mean I'm not going to have time for her. But it does mean that I have a new baby and I have to focus and give that baby my undivided attention.
It's always the light-skinned girls who think they just so pretty, and just because they born light-skinned that they just all that. That they can come on people's shit talk.
Gabby like my best friend. I talk to him about everything, you know, and when like the time is right, you know, people want details of how long we...
Buckle up, because what unfolded on that IG Live wasn't just another celebrity confession. It was a slow-motion collision between fame, trust, and a truth that refused to stay buried. No music. No intro. Just Claressa Shields staring into her phone like she already knew the internet was about to turn on its axis. At first, people thought it was another emotional check-in. Celebrities cry online all the time. But this was different. Her eyes looked heavy, not dramatic. Her pauses weren't for effect. They felt like someone deciding, in real time, whether silence was still worth the pain. Comments rolled fast, hearts floated up the screen, and then she said it. She was pregnant. The chat froze for half a second before exploding. What came next hit harder. Claressa didn't tease it. She didn't dance around it. She directly claimed that the father was Papoose. According to viewers, the moment his name left her mouth, the live stopped being a confession and became an event. Screenshots started. Screen recordings multiplied. People were already calling group chats before she even finished the sentence. Then, without warning, she allegedly held up what she said was a DNA report. She didn't zoom in for long, didn't give anyone time to breathe. Just enough for viewers to catch the name listed under father. That was the moment the live crossed a line from emotional to explosive. Whether real, misread, or disputed, the image alone was enough to send the internet into freefall. Claressa's voice cracked as she started explaining what she claimed happened behind closed doors. She alleged she was pursued, promised stability, promised marriage. Not casually, not vaguely, repeatedly. According to her, the relationship was built on assurances that made her feel safe enough to trust, safe enough to commit, safe enough to believe this wasn't temporary. She said the intimacy came with conditions, words spoken, futures described, timelines implied. She claimed that as long as everything stayed quiet, everything stayed good. But the second the pregnancy became real, something shifted. She alleged calls started going unanswered. Messages turned dry, then disappeared. Support turned into distance. And distance, she said, turned into abandonment. The live didn't slow down. If anything, it grew heavier. Claressa alleged she wasn't just left emotionally, but publicly discarded. She claimed she wasn't given a private conversation, a plan, or even respect. Instead, She said she was pushed into silence while watching someone else live freely, untouched by the fallout she was drowning in. Then came the allegation that truly detonated the moment. Claressa claimed she discovered a secret relationship, one that had allegedly been running parallel while she was being reassured. Names started appearing in the comments before she even finished her thought. She didn't confirm details, but she didn't deny them either. The implication alone was enough. According to her, it wasn't just cheating, it was a double life. Her tone shifted from hurt to something sharper. Not rage, but clarity. She claimed she realized she had been useful, not valued. That her presence served a purpose until it didn't. She said she felt chosen only when it was convenient, invisible when it wasn't. And now, pregnant, she said she felt erased. What shook viewers most wasn't the allegations themselves, it was how calmly she said them. No screaming. No theatrics. Just exhaustion. She said she asked for support and allegedly got dismissal. She said she tried to keep things private until privacy started costing her sanity. And at that point, she claimed silence became a form of self-destruction. As she spoke, the comment section split in real time. Some viewers flooded her with messages of support, calling her brave, calling her honest, calling her a victim of emotional manipulation. Others questioned timelines, demanded proof, debated the report, dissected every word. The live became a courtroom without rules, with thousands of jurors arguing at once. Claressa didn't respond to the noise. She kept talking like she wasn't reading anything at all. She said she wasn't there to convince anyone. She said she was there because carrying the truth alone felt heavier than carrying the backlash. According to her, the baby changed everything. Not because it trapped her, but because it forced her to stop pretending she was fine. She claimed the hardest part wasn't the betrayal, but the loneliness that followed. Being pregnant while watching the person she trusted move on untouched. Being reduced to a headline before she could even process becoming a mother. Being judged by strangers while allegedly being ignored by the one person she thought would stand beside her. Toward the end of the live, her voice dropped. She said she knew what was coming. She knew people would doubt her, attack her, accuse her of clout chasing. She said she accepted that risk because she refused to let her child grow up in a lie. According to her, speaking up wasn't about revenge, it was about survival. Then she ended it. No dramatic goodbye. No plea for sympathy. Just a simple statement that she couldn't stay silent anymore. The screen went dark, but the impact didn't. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Blogs raced to frame the story. Commentators took sides. Some demanded responses. Others urged caution. Everyone had an opinion, but no one had the full truth. And that uncertainty only fed the fire. By the time the night ended, this wasn't just a viral moment, it was a controversy with momentum. A story still unfolding, still disputed, still emotionally raw. Allegations hung in the air unanswered. Reputations felt fragile. And one thing was clear, whatever really happened behind closed doors, the silence was officially broken. And this was only the beginning. And once the clips escaped the live and started moving on their own, the narrative stopped belonging to Claressa altogether. It mutated. Every repost added a new angle, every caption injected an opinion, every pause in her voice got dissected like evidence under harsh lights. This wasn't a conversation anymore. It was a public trial unfolding without rules, without a judge, and without mercy. Accounts that had never mentioned her before suddenly treated her story like breaking news. Slow-motion replays zoomed in on her expressions. Lip readers swore they caught hidden meanings. Commentators froze frames of the alleged document she flashed and debated font size, layout, timing. No one agreed on anything except that something irreversible had happened. What made the situation darker was the silence on the other side. No immediate response. No clarification. No denial. Just absence. And in internet logic, absence never reads as neutrality. It reads as strategy, or worse, confirmation. Fans began filling in the gaps themselves, connecting dots that may or may not have existed, turning speculation into narrative and narrative into belief. Supporters framed Claressa as someone who trusted the wrong promises. They said her words didn't sound rehearsed, didn't sound manipulative, didn't sound like someone chasing attention. They pointed to the exhaustion in her posture, the way she hesitated before saying certain things, the way she never once asked for sympathy. To them, that wasn't performance. That was collapse. Critics were louder. They questioned timing. They questioned motive. They questioned why now. They suggested clout, leverage, pressure. They accused her of weaponizing vulnerability. And yet, even among skeptics, there was discomfort. Because even doubt couldn't fully erase the image of someone breaking down while claiming abandonment during pregnancy. Then the story widened. Old interviews resurfaced. Past comments were dragged into the present. People began rewatching moments that once seemed harmless, now searching for foreshadowing. Anything could become proof if framed the right way. Anything could be turned into a red flag. The name she allegedly hinted at became unavoidable. Fans flooded that person's pages with accusations, questions, demands. Silence there too. And silence, again, became its own language. Some read it as guilt. Others read it as legal caution. Either way, the lack of clarity fueled the storm. What got lost in the chaos was the human cost. Claressa didn't go live again. She didn't post follow-ups. She didn't clarify or escalate. She disappeared from the noise she had ignited, leaving the internet to argue with itself. And that disappearance shifted the tone. What began as outrage slowly curdled into something heavier concern. People started asking whether she was okay, whether she had support, whether speaking out had isolated her further. Some fans noticed she stopped interacting altogether. Others claimed her inner circle went quiet. The woman at the center of the fire wasn't feeding it anymore, and that unsettled even those who doubted her. Behind the scenes, according to online whispers, pressure was mounting. Brands watched closely. Teams allegedly scrambled. Lawyers were speculated about but never confirmed. Every move, or lack of one, was interpreted as tactical. The story wasn't just emotional now, it was strategic. And still, no official statement came. That vacuum allowed the narrative to harden. For many viewers, the absence of rebuttal didn't leave room for nuance. It created conclusions. People don't wait for facts in moments like this, they pick sides. And once sides are chosen, evidence becomes optional. What made this moment particularly volatile was its timing. The cultural conversation around accountability, power dynamics, and private harm made Claressa's claims resonate far beyond her own situation. To some, this wasn't about two individuals anymore. It was about patterns they recognized too well. Others pushed back, warning against internet convictions. They reminded audiences that allegations aren't verdicts, that emotion isn't proof, that silence isn't admission. They urged patience. But patience doesn't trend. Outrage does. As days passed, the story refused to cool. Each attempt to move on pulled it back into focus. A single like, a cryptic post, a missed appearance. Everything fed speculation. Everything felt loaded. What remained undeniable was the shift in perception. Whatever the truth behind closed doors, the public image on all sides had changed. Trust had fractured. Doubt had settled in. And the story had reached a point where resolution wouldn't come easily, no matter what was said next. This wasn't a scandal that burned fast and faded. It was the kind that lingered, that resurfaced at inconvenient moments, that followed everyone involved like a shadow. The kind where even clarity, if it ever arrived, would come too late to undo the damage. And somewhere beneath the noise, beneath the arguments and theories, there was a reality that couldn't be debated away, a pregnancy, a future, and a child whose story had already been dragged into the public before it even began. The internet kept talking. The headlines kept spinning. The silence stayed heavy. And with every unanswered question, the tension only grew, pulling the story closer to a breaking point that hadn't arrived yet. And as the tension continued to simmer, the story spiraled into an entirely new dimension. Claressa Shields' name became a lightning rod across platforms. Every snippet from that live, every alleged claim, every alleged gesture was scrutinized, dissected, replayed, and debated. She wasn't just a celebrity anymore. She became a symbol of betrayal, survival, and public scrutiny. The conversation no longer revolved solely around her. It had grown into a cultural commentary about trust, manipulation, and exposure. Rumors of legal moves began circulating. Anonymous sources, allegedly close to the situation, claimed lawyers were preparing statements, while others suggested settlement talks had started quietly behind closed doors. Yet nothing concrete emerged. And in that vacuum, speculation hardened into narrative. Social media accounts acted like courtrooms without judges, with millions of self-appointed jurors weighing in, passing verdicts, assigning blame, and defending honor, all at the same time. The alleged DNA report, already shared in fragments, continued to make rounds. Experts were cited by fan pages analyzing authenticity. Critics questioned methodology. Supporters rallied behind her courage. Every angle was a battlefield. Every comment was ammunition. And at the heart of it, Claressa's voice from that initial live echoed louder than any trending hashtag, that she was alone, betrayed, and facing motherhood under circumstances she never imagined. Reports surfaced alleging that Papoose had been maintaining a separate life publicly while privately denying promises he had made. Online sleuths traced connections, linked past posts, and compared statements. Whether verified or speculative, the pattern painted a portrait of deliberate manipulation. Followers dissected every public interaction, trying to reconcile the alleged timeline with the emotional fallout Claressa described. Meanwhile, discussions about Taseki intensified. The alleged secret relationship became a focal point for debate and outrage. Fans demanded answers, demanded confrontation, demanded justice. Memes, reaction videos, and news segments amplified the drama. Every angle added fuel to the fire, and the story became bigger than the individuals involved. It became a viral phenomenon, a spectacle of emotion, betrayal, and the power of social media to magnify private pain into global headlines. Amid all this, Claressa herself receded into near silence. She posted little, responded less, and let the live speak for her. And the effect was chilling. Without her direct interaction, narratives multiplied uncontrollably. Opinions hardened. Allegations gained credibility simply through repetition. Support and criticism merged into a chaotic storm of virality. And the emotional weight of a pregnant woman abandoned publicly, facing not only personal betrayal, but also global scrutiny, became central to the discourse. By this stage, the story wasn't just about a single live or a single announcement. It had evolved into a sprawling saga. Headlines screamed betrayal, exploitation, secrets, and deception. Viewers debated morality, fame, and accountability. Allegations were dissected in forums, and every revelation from the initial live seemed to acquire new significance with each retelling. Emotional intensity had multiplied. Sadness, shock, but none could deny the emotional gravity of a scenario in which someone publicly revealed pregnancy, betrayal, and abandonment, and then had the world decide in real time how to perceive her truth. As viral coverage exploded, every media outlet jumped in. Social media accounts, fan pages, YouTube channels, and gossip blogs dissected every second. Alleged screenshots, alleged messages, and alleged behaviors were presented as evidence. The story transcended traditional reporting, transforming into a relentless, emotionally charged spectacle. The internet itself became a courtroom, and Claressa's live was the evidence everyone argued over, analyzed, and reinterpreted endlessly. Despite all the chaos, the central tragedy remained unmistakable. A woman alleged to have been manipulated, betrayed, and left to face pregnancy alone had now entered the public imagination not as a figure of privacy, but as a symbol of emotional intensity and human vulnerability. Fans felt pain. Critics felt satisfaction. Observers felt fascination. And the narrative, fueled by allegations and amplified by virality, continued to spiral uncontrollably. And while the story expanded in every direction, one thing was undeniably clear: the initial live was not the end. It was the spark. Every allegation, every interpretation, every viral clip built upon that spark. What began as a personal revelation had become a global spectacle. Claressa Shields' announcement, and the alleged betrayals behind it, had forever altered perceptions, ignited debates, and created a viral narrative that would continue to shock, sadden, and captivate audiences around the world. The silence that followed didn't calm the storm. It intensified it. The absence of official statements, the unanswered questions, and the lingering allegations ensured that the story remained alive, potent, and explosive. Millions were watching, millions were talking, and millions were deciding what the truth meant. And through it all, the emotional resonance of Claressa's revelation, her alleged abandonment, her alleged betrayal, and her confrontation with the public eye remained the undeniable center of a viral tragedy that refused to fade. If you thought the story ended, think again. Claressa Shields' live didn't just stop at shocking revelations. It opened a hurricane of questions, accusations, and raw emotion that the world can't ignore. Millions of viewers are still replaying the clips, analyzing every pause, every glance, every tear. The alleged betrayal, the secret relationships, the broken promises, and the public dumping have created a narrative so intense, so explosive, that it feels like nothing will ever return to normal. Social media is ablaze with debates, hashtags trending, screenshots circulating like wildfire, and everyone has a theory, but only one person lived the truth. You've seen the tears. You've seen the DNA report. You've seen the allegations of manipulation, fame, money, and heartbreak. You've seen a life exposed, a pregnancy turned into a public spectacle, and a woman forced to confront betrayal in real time while the world watched. This is not just gossip. This is emotional warfare broadcast for millions. Every viewer now has a front row seat to a personal tragedy that has gone viral, and the fallout is far from over. The question isn't just what happened behind closed doors, it's who will be held accountable, who will speak next, and how much more will the internet consume before the story finally settles. Claressa's voice may have been silenced after the live, but the impact resonates louder than ever. Every allegation, every claim, every heartbreak has sparked a conversation about truth, betrayal, and survival. The time to act is now. Share the story. Spread the clips. Debate the claims. Demand answers. Make your voice part of the narrative, because silence only fuels speculation. This is bigger than headlines. This is alive, emotional, and viral moment that the world won't stop watching. Don't look away. Witness it. React to it. Engage with it. The controversy is still unfolding, and every second counts. Millions are watching. Millions are talking. Millions are waiting for the next explosive update, and you cannot afford to miss it.